What is this saying? Right here. You say this one and she says this one.
That Nicolas has $135 in the bank and he's saving 35 each week.
For what job? You.
Alejandra is saving 90.
Really carefully.
Alejandra has 90 in the bank and she's saving 40 for a week for her job. Neighbor.
So what's the first thing that we're gonna do?
Show our work in the middle.
Okay, and so you have a couple different ways that you can start. Which way, Griselda, are you gonna start?
Equation.
You want to start with the equation? Let's go ahead and do that. And what did you want to start with?
Equation.
You can do that. Oh, you can use table, honey. You can choose whichever one. As long as you guys at the end have all three representations.
Okay.
So can you start off with the equation and then let's hear how you got that. And what are you going to start off with? Let's go ahead and do that. Cecilia, what do you want to start off with?
Equation.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start off with that.
Wait, is this what she already has?
Will you tell me, what does 0 represent?
That she has nothing.
No. Don't erase anything yet, please, because I want to make sure that you understand. So let's go back up.
I'm gonna do that.
What is the x going to represent?
Yeah, it's easy.
The number the money she gets per week.
Then what is this?
That's the growth.
Okay, so this is going to be the growth. Okay, so what is x going to represent? It's in the, if you go back to the reading, if you go back to the text, it's going to, you can find your answer there of what x is going to represent.
The weeks?
Okay. And where did you find that?
Here it says save $35 each week. And this to go.
So if you know that that is what your x variable is going to represent, then what numbers could you put down here?
1, 2, 3.
Okay,
0,
good.
1, 2, 3.
The X is essentially the X is the weeks and then the Y is the money.
Okay, so I think I heard you correctly of what you're doing, although I know that you're working on the equation. Can you show Oscar?
No, I'm doing It's easy at the graph.
Sure.
I mean the table.
We
Yeah,
thought
you can
too.
start off with that way.
We're still gonna end up with all of them.
So then, what did you say that x is going to represent?
The weeks.
Okay, can you explain what you think and why? And let's see if you guys have the same answer.
The weeks, because we already know the Y is gonna be the growth, because right here it says $35 each week, and then there's gonna be the weeks, how many times it grows, how much money she's getting per week.
Does that make sense? Do you agree with that? Okay, so really quickly, Cecilia, when we start off, before we've even done anything, how much money does Nicholas have?
135.
Cecilia?
Oh.
35.
Okay, so where are you going to represent that in your table?
Make a table first so you can know where it's gonna go.
And you guys can use Spanish. You don't have to speak English.
Puedes usar la mesa para hacer con los números.
So el primero va a ser
135.
¿En cuántas?
Ese lado no. Ajá.
So Oscar, do you agree or disagree with what you originally had right over here?
I agree. That's what I had.
So can you guys continue with that, and then you should have enough information to continue.
Was I right though?
What's sweeter?
Was I right? Because
What do you think?
yeah, because it says she already had.
I
I
agree.
mean, he already had.
I agree with
So
you.
in 0 months, 0 weeks, he has 135, and then we add 135 each. 35 each week.
Yeah,
Yes, because what is the growth?
35.
$35.
Let's go ahead and do that, and then you have enough information to create your
Graph.
equation and your graph.
Okay, so we add 35 on 135.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's his first week.
Whose information is this? Maybe you should label. Whose information are we talking about?
Are you guys going to do a table first? You want to do the, it doesn't matter which one you do first.
So
So el 0 va a ser 136.
Where did you find that, Cecilia? Where did you find that?
Ahí en mi papel. So, 135.
¿Hasta cuándo?
Hasta 5.
¿Hasta 5?
Mm-hmm.
¿Dice?
I'm gonna do it to 5.
yeah, yeah.
So it could be precise on the graph.
Why are you choosing to do to 5?
Because the graph is gonna show the lattice. And if I just choose 3, it's just, well, it's the same, but I'd rather choose 5 so I could get more examples.
So you have more information?
Yeah.
Good.
¿Cuánto ganaste?
Like this?
Now, we got an information too. What do you guys want to do next? Graph or equation?
Well, she's not finished quite yet. So before you move on, why don't you check your work with each other around each week? As you increase, how much money does Nicholas have?
He increases $35 each week.
So, in
So
0
make sure
weeks,
there's
he
equity
has
of voice.
135. In 1 week.
How many times does it go? How many times does
¿Cuánto crece?
el número crece?
¿Por cuánto?
36.
¿Cuál es cuánto tiene en una semana?
170.
¿Y en 2?
205.
¿En 3?
240.
¿Y en 4?
275.
¿Y en 5?
610.
Do you guys all agree with that?
Yeah.
Y ahora vamos a hacer el
¿El gráfico o la ecuación?
Gráfico.
Todos, they're all positive. Todos son positivos. Entonces vamos a hacer a one quadrant graph. Because it's all positive. And since it's a big number, we're going by
by
10s.
10s.
20s.
En el Times, ¿cuánto vamos?
¿No?
En el Times.
Por arriba. Wait.
Para-
First we have to
¿vamos a
find
10
which
o
way
a
it's
20?
going. Hold up. This is gonna be the. This is gonna be the growth.
Abajo es gonna be
And this is gonna be a week because this is a time.
How do you know that this axis is growth?
Because it's increasing. And week it's like time. And time always goes from the left.
El mío no cabe.
Make it by 20s.
Yeah.
Griselda, why are you increasing that by 20?
Because,
Why not 10?
because it's not gonna fit.
Because you're working with big numbers?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like this, you know? The 6, 18, 20, 22. And then 24. But isn't that going by 4s?
Going by 20s.
Oh, yeah,
20, 40, 60. Are you sure it's gonna fit though?
24, no.
Yes, it is. Oh, no, it's not.
Mejor vamos a comer.
Wait a second. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just helping her with the graph.
You can explain it to her, but she should do it.
No, va a ser lo mismo.
Number 1, 2, make 3 on everything.
¿Me lo pasas? Okay.
Why did you have to erase it, Cruzada?
I don't know.
What happened?
No, it's because it couldn't fit the number.
You have to write really tiny.
Yeah.
That's really small.
Hazlo grande.
So Oscar, while they're filling these out, why did you change your mind and start with a table?
I started with the table so because if I start with the graph, I'm not gonna get the. Well, I am, but if I start with the table, it's gonna give me more information so I could put into a graph. Because if I do this, it's not gonna give me information how much it's growing and how much am I gonna go up before I do the graph.
So it gives you the coordinates.
And I'm not
when you
gonna be
start with the
counting 35 every time.
table. Okay.
Yeah?
You need a magnifying glass to see that.
140, 160. Still didn't fit. 60. 280. Very different. 300. 320. Stop there. Okay. So,
Okay, what's your first step?
what are you going to go do first? ¿Qué vamos a hacer primero?
Vamos a hacer 0 a 3.
So we need to see who has bigger.
We are going to pause for 1 second. I want to have someone come up and explain so far where they at, and it's fine if we're all at different spots. So, we're going to have someone who's actually here. Griselda, you're going to bring your paper here and explain just so far what you have, so I need to have all pencils down. And you're going to have your attention up here for Griselda. Paper, love. And Griselda is going to explain to us so far what she has. Thank you, Catherine.
I did the table first, and then I'm going to graph.
Okay, I love you, sweetheart. Let's go ahead and explain a little bit more in detail.
First, I did the table. That I figured out how many weeks I wanted to end at, and then at 0 I started with 135, and then I added 35 in each week, and then that's how I ended it. And then on the graph, I went by 20s because it's pretty big, and then I stopped at 5, so I'm starting to 5.
And we're starting to have. Are there any clarifying questions for Griselda?
You're only, which one are you showing? You're showing Nicholas, right?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Okay. What would you get for Alejandro's? Because you're supposed to find the difference between those two.
For your X and your Y, what are you, because I don't know what you're graphing. So what are you, for your X and your Y and your graph, what do they represent?
Well, this represents the weeks, and then this represents the growth.
Why isn't it go with time on the, weeks on the list and growth on the
Because weeks is a time, and then
Okay. We can elaborate a little bit more on that when we get to our table. The other week, I had you guys purposely switch the time to the y-axis. So I love the question right now of why is time represented on the x-axis. We're gonna get deeper into that. So what I want right now though, before we get too far into that, let's finish modeling all 3 linear equations for both Nicholas and Alejandra. There's not one right way to do this, okay? So I've seen a couple people do their graphs differently. Yoli, can you show your graph really quickly? And let's give Griselda something back. Go. And Yoli's just gonna explain her graph really quickly. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, that's not the point.
So for me, since I did the tables first, I figured out what the equation was because I saw the growth in the line strip and everything. So I grabbed that information in my graph and I labeled time, weeks on the bottom because it's the time, and then money on the y-axis because the money depends on the week. So that's why I did it this way. Nora?
What do you mean by money? Money like in working or like the money in her bank?
Money that she gets weekly every week.
But what's interesting about your graph? Kalia?
Because she did a scatter plot and she used a different color to represent each table and each ring.
Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna let you guys continue working. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do desk clap for Yoli. 1, 2, 3, go. I know, I couldn't think of it.
So,
All right.
Alright, so I need to finish labeling these
I
0
noticed that you guys are almost to the point where you guys are gonna have modeled all 3. We need to have this conversation then is explain who is the richest. You have all the information to have that conversation, and I'm not gonna tell you that anything is right or wrong. I just want to be able to see and hear what you guys believe and use your evidence from your graphs, tables, and equations to be able to prove your answer. Okay? So as soon as you guys are finished with the modeling, go ahead and start that conversation.
we're done, right?
No.
Just make sure that you are.
So,
Oh, no, we need hold him.
okay, yeah.
Alright, 1 is 130, so 2 is 170,
Which one are you doing right now?
Alejandro.
3 is 210,
4 is 250. A little bit higher than that. A little bit higher than that.
right here between.
All right. All right, so now that we're done with that, we have to discuss it. Who's the richest? Who wants to start?
I think that the richest is Nicholas, because like since you see here on the table, you're adding by 35, and for Alejandro you're adding by 40. But Alejandro she saves 40, and Alejandro saves 30. So here I added by 35, and like on the 4th week, Nicolas has 275 and Alejandro has 250.
So who's the richest?
Nicholas.
Okay. What about you?
I think Alejandra, because if you would have kept on going with the graph, as you can see, she's catching up with him. So at a constant rate, at one point she's gonna probably pass him because she's putting more money than him, and then she's gonna overpass him. So I think Alejandra's gonna be probably the richer one.
Well,
Wait. This is just in our conversation. Opinions, not. Okay, what about you, Cristobal?
Nicholas.
Why?
Because
I did work, and then it shows that Nicholas is always gonna beat Alejandro by $5 to $10.
I agree with him because if I see what you're saying, I would understand why you think that, because it is really, really close. But Nicholas is still gonna be richer at least by a little bit because he did start with more than she did. And so every time she's trying to catch up because he started with more, even though he has 35 every week, he has the difference in the money that she gets at the beginning. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I like to agree with that too.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie too.
So now do we write it down?
Do we use the RAD, rubric of academic discussion? Okay, so if you guys want, each one could explain something that helped them out the most. Like for me, what helped me out the most was the table because it's showing the time in weeks and then the amount and then also right here, so I could just compare them to see the difference and see who is richer or not now.
Well, I agree with Jorge too. What helped me out was the tables, cause like I knew like 0, that's the number that started by, and for 102, and like, cause I didn't understand some, so like I asked my shoulder partner, my cross partner, yeah, and I asked for help when I needed it.
First of all.
What?
What helped you out the most?
Yeah.
The table, because with the table you could see, you can show your work all the way to because I showed my work to 10 weeks to show that Nicholas would always be Alejandro.
For me, I would have to agree with everybody because for me the tables were also helpful because it straight up told you like the information for the equation y equals mx plus b because you knew how much Nicholas and Alejandro started with and the growth. So it told you everything like really quickly to find the equation. All right. Do you have the equation too? All right. So now do we write it down?
I don't know. What did you guys come up with?
We came up with. You wanna share?
Yeah, that Nicholas will probably be richer by $10 or
By
every
$10.
time.
What do you mean?
Almost every time.
Almost every time. What's every time?
Because they both have a difference between how much more money he has than her. So that's how much.
Okay. After 4 weeks, how much money does Nicholas have?
245. 275. My
Okay, and then Alejandra, after 4 weeks, how much money does she have?
bad. 250.
She is 250. Okay, but her growth.
Yeah. Her growth is bigger, but because she started with, he's always gonna have the biggest because what she's adding every week he already had it.
Are you sure?
Or was I right?
No.
I'm gonna leave you guys with that.
Well, I think what's probably gonna happen. I tried to say this, but they said I was wrong. That since she was probably gonna catch up and pass him or something like that.
Maybe. I think that there's something that I want you guys to do with realizing this, right? This you guys already know. I'm pushing you guys to go one step further in this new unit. And this is the question that you guys need to do. So if you have to make another graph, then make another graph. Because I want you guys to have more data points to be able to answer this question accurately.
Alejandro won.
Alejandra?
Well,
Because of what you said, huh?
Hey, but it doesn't matter because like since
At 20 weeks?
Nicholas started like way higher.
At 20
Yeah,
weeks.
but because her growth is bigger, I understand that.
Oh, because right here she's slow, but when she catches up to 135 with the $5 extra from Nicholas.
Oh, why don't you just add like keep on adding like until like
I was right.
5 and adding like
At
you
20
know.
at
But
20
you weren't able to tell me why.
At 20
Well,
weeks.
you did kind of, but you backed up. That's not a problem.
At 20 weeks, Nicholas has 700 and she has 800.
Wait, what? In 20 weeks?
Yeah.
So Alejandra won. Oh my God, you guys said that in the beginning.
Okay, so let's show the work for her so she can be like, oh, how do you know? Okay, let's prove it to her.
So do we draw another graph?
No, you can do, well, I want to do it on the equation. You just have to plug in this.
And you can do it either way. You can do it on the equation if they want to do it on the graph.
Okay.
So how are we doing this again?
Times 20 plus
Cross multiply?
135.
Cross multiply what
Then right
though?
here was 40 times 20 plus 90.
I'm just gonna keep adding on the graph.
It's just gonna show when they cross. That's it.
It don't matter. At least we're gonna know who's richer though.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Is that right? In 20 weeks, right?
Yeah. Who's the calculator?
Alright.
Okay.
Why could you do this? No, right? No, man.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing it per weeks. Like for every 4 weeks.
I'm gonna keep on adding on the graph.
Okay, that's fine.
So I don't know if I'm right because for like 4 weeks, right? It was 250, right? So in 8 weeks, will it be 500?
I don't think so.
Oh no, because I'm just doing the constant. I'm not.
Because remember, at week 0, she already started with this.
That's true.
You're gonna re-add it.
No, so you just only add 40, right?
You keep adding by 40, whatever you're doing.
Okay, so 5 would be 290, right? So if I did 10, will it be? So I can do 10, right? Wait, I can do 10. So I just do this is 210. So it's 420, but I just subtract the 90, right? Because I'm just re-adding it, so I can just subtract it, right?
Can you do that, Cristobal?
What?
Because you know how if he adds, okay, so if he has 5 and then he adds another 5, he's doing it for 10, but then he's gonna be adding the 90 again. So can he just add it and then subtract the 90? I think
I
you
got
can do that.
330, right?
Oh, for 10, 330?
Yeah, right?
No.
No.
For 10, I got 440.
For 10, 440?
I think you added the 90 that he started with. She started.
Oh, okay, yeah, then, yeah.
So then you're so this is inaccurate.
So that's not
Why?
accurate because you
Because
you
you're
added
adding
the
the
90.
90 again, and 90 is only a one-time thing.
Just
No, I
to,
didn't.
you made sure that you didn't. add
I
the 90.
multiplied 3 times, no, 35 times 10, and then I got, I forgot what I got, and then I just added the 90, and then I got 440.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
Did it
I did it by
wrong.
20.
Is this where you at, love?
I'm doing it on the graph again. I'm adding. But I did it wrong though.
That's okay. That's why we're doing it in our math notebook, because right now, that's okay if we make mistakes, because again, that's how we learn. We are gonna have our final report tomorrow.
So
We're gonna have to defend your answers.
she was wrong.
Who's she? How do you know that?
Because we plugged the information in the equation, so we substituted x, and we did by 20, both of them.
What does 20 represent?
20 weeks.
Okay, so after 20 weeks, I hear you.
Alejandra was able to catch up and pass him.
Interesting. Okay. I wonder at what point she passes him, because you did 20 weeks. Is there a point when they're at the same?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
You're gonna, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what the graph is gonna look like. If we have Alejandra, who's gonna, right, and there's something about
Yeah.
that. And that's a really important point of where we're getting when we have 2 equations and then something happens,
You find the slope? What?
right? Well,
You
we
find
already
like what we did yesterday, right? You find the difference between those two.
So we can do that here?
Well, you would need to do it for each of the separate lines, and that's gonna still find you slow. But I wanna push you guys even further into the meaning of what
Found it.
happens.
Alejandro is richer. She passes Nicholas.
Oh, he found it right here, right? Did you find it?
Yeah.
So,
So
where?
then at what point?
So the black ones is
And how are you gonna represent that on your graph? I want it to be represented somehow on your graph. I wanna see it happen.
In this graph?
Uh-huh. Where did you count by 40s?
Yeah.
we all kind of
We all kind of by
Okay,
40.
and that's fine. So can you find what week it is when they have the same amount of money, or do they never have the same amount of money?
They never wait.
I
Alright,
don't
I'm
know.
gonna find it right now, right?
You want help?
They never
yeah.
they never find.
Okay.
Oh wait.
So just add
Yeah, they do.
35 to
Okay.
275
275
plus 35.
275
Wait,
plus
we need two calculators.
35 equals
Too much chance.
No, I know how to do it. I know how to do
what?
it. I know how to
Okay, how do you do it?
We need two
Look, porque
calculators.
mira, aquí like, you know, we see already, right here 170 and here 170, so 2.
Oh, for real?
Wait, what?
But she's in week 2.
Yeah.
It has to be this.
So maybe they never are, because if they already have the same but in a different week,
No, porque
they
mira.
never cross.
I know how to find it.
How do you find it?
We need two calculators. But tienes que hacer una cosa.
Makes more correct.
Please. Thank you.
Que tú agarres eso. Agarra eso.
What? Okay, ¿qué sabe?
Agarra el calculator.
Oh, okay, he's doing
you
the
want
necklace.
two?
He's doing the
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm doing the
let him
Alejandro.
finish. Okay.
Alright, loves, if you are done, that's great. If you're not, that's also fine. 'Cause tomorrow we're gonna.
He's never gonna cross, dude. Because you can see the camera.
I've heard different, thank you. I've heard different justification and reasoning from each table. And I love hearing that. I'm hearing this group talk about something and they're able to prove it, but then I just heard another group have a completely different answer and they're able to prove it. Tomorrow, we're gonna have that conversation, and as a class, we're gonna figure it out together. So I'm not gonna tell you who's richer, if it's Alejandra, or if it's Nicholas. Your homework is being passed out by Griselda. Can you please put it in front of you? Let's make sure that we understand what we're doing before we do it.